Hi, and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. Here's the card we're going to be creating today. Really simple but beautiful, using those dies that are part of the Snowflake Showcase. This promotion is running through November 30th or while supplies last. I'm offering an awesome bonus as well. For those of you that are placing a qualified purchase, I am going to provide you with an additional tutorial with 9 extra project ideas using the same bundle of products. Stick with me to the end of today's video because I have additional samples to share with you. If you're here visiting from YouTube, you'll find a link in the description of this video below that will navigate you over to pictures, cutting dimensions, and supplies for today's project. Of course, there you'll also find information about the promotion as well as the bonus tutorials. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's project. Here's a good close-up of the card we're going to be creating today. Isn't this snowflake die absolutely stunning? Simple card, one you can make lots of. Stick with me to the end of the video because I have some other cards to share with you. We're going to jump right in with the big shot and we're going to die cut that large snowflake. But I want to give you a good look at the Snowfall Thinlits dies. Really a big die set. You're going to see that there's 2 sheets full of dies here. The great thing about this die set is that there's images here in the dies that actually can be used all year round as flowers. There's a coordinating stamp set, actually 2. There's one for Christmas that we're going to use today for the greeting, and there's also one that has more of an all-occasion theme. Both stamp sets have greetings in them, which is going to really expound the use of these framelits as well. Part of the promotion also includes beautiful snowflake trinkets. I've got my Big Shot magnetic platform here, which is my platform of choice when I'm using a die. I'm going to put my clear cutting mat on the bottom to protect it. I've got a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and we're going to be using that large snowflake die. I'm going to go ahead and place it on here. Now, every big shot's a little bit different. You may need to crank yours through once. I know I need to crank mine through twice. The rollers are a little bit different on every single one. It just depends on how tight your rollers are. Mine's well loved and broken in, so I know I need to crank it twice. I always recommend to, before you dislodge it, turn it over, take a quick look, and you want to make sure that you can see cut lines on all the inside areas as well. I've got that image here, and I've got my Take Your Pick pickup tool, and I've put on the interchangeable tip for the paper piercing. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently just come in here and poke those out. They're already die cut. They're just going to need a little bit of love just to get them through. I've cut a piece of Festive Farmhouse Designer Series paper. You're going to find all the cutting dimensions and pictures for today's project in the link of this video description below. So make sure you click on that and head over there and get all that information. And I'm going to mount that on a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock. I've cut this a little bit bigger than I need, so I'm going to go ahead and just mount that so we've got a little bit of a border at the top and the bottom. I've cut a piece of crumb cake cardstock and I've already scored it in half, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this. I'm a big fan of my bone folder for those nice crisp edges. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that panel of designer paper and cardstock and we're going to mount that here. I'm going to add adhesive to my 4 corners. The snail adhesive is a wonderful product, super easy to use, very affordable. There's 472 inches of adhesive inside that cartridge and it is refillable. Down here we're going to stamp a greeting. And I've chosen the greeting from the coordinating stamp set to the dies that we're using. This is called Snow is Glistening. There is also a coordinating stamp set for the dies in more of a floral pattern, and there's also greetings in there. I just mentioned that a few minutes ago. Click on the link of this video below. You'll be able to see pictures of that stamp set. We're going to be using the 4U, and I've chosen the cherry cobbler ink. So I've got my 4U here. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. It is photopolymer, making it really easy to use. I'm going to place that down here at the bottom. Now here comes my snowflakes. I'm going to use a combination of regular dimensionals and mini dimensionals. Let's start with the bigger ones. It's going to help consume some of this area pretty quickly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the smaller dimensionals in that center area, because these I would have to cut in half, which of course you can do. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in my mini dimensionals for that. I'd like to use my pickup tool for that as well, because they are small, which makes them ideal for these small areas on the back of your project. Then we're going to take off those paper backings. We're going to add this right here to the center of the card. I thought that center needed a little bit of something, and I wanted to pick up that real festive farmhouse feel. So I'm going to be using the True Gentleman buttons. There's an assortment in here. So you've got one that's a two-tone, and it can be flipped over to make it solid. There's one that's a little bit lighter, which is the one we're going to use today. And there's one that's even smaller. I'm going to add that button here with some glue dots. So I'm going to peel back a couple. And I'm going to place one near the top and one near the bottom. I'm real cognizant that this is going to go in the mail, so I want to make sure that I've got enough glue dots on the back to make sure it's going to hold up. And then I'm going to add that bow. And again, keeping with that real farmhouse kind of look, I've cut myself a piece of burlap trim. This measures about 15 inches, and you can see I've already pulled out some strands before. So I'm going to come here through the center, and I'm just going to pull, and I'm going to take out 2 strands because I want to make a double bow on this one. I'm going to line up those ends, and I'm going to make a bow. This is probably a lot longer than I need. But you know what? I don't like fighting with those small pieces. So we're going ahead and make our bow. I'm going to pull it tautly. I want to make sure that my bow doesn't come apart. I'll give this a trim in just a minute, but I'm going to come here again with another glue dot, adding it to the back. Any glue dot that's visible from the front, go ahead and pinch it to the back so it won't show. And that's going to go right over those buttonholes. It's going to look like we threaded it through, but we sure didn't go through the trouble. Grabbing my paper snips, and I'm going to give this a little bit of a haircut. I wanted to keep my strands kind of long this time. There we go. Isn't that simple? Let's go ahead and stamp a greeting on the inside as well. For this one, I'm going to use the Cherry Cobbler ink again. I'm going to choose the greeting that says, Merry Christmas to you and peace on earth to all the world. So I'm going to ink that up. Again, that's all part of that same stamp set. Photopolymer is going to make it easy for you to use, and then we'll go ahead and stamp that on the inside. Really a cute and simple card. Now, I promised you some other samples. I had shared this in a video a few weeks ago during this promotion. Isn't that beautiful, that white on white? Can you see these score lines here that I actually used to connect those snowflakes? And then this one was also a few weeks ago. The Snowflake Showcase promotion ends on November 30th or while supplies last. The link is down in the description of this video below. And while you're here, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of the amazing projects that I'm going to be sharing in the coming weeks. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you're interested in Stampin' Up! Products, I would be more than happy to send you a complimentary copy of the annual catalog and or the holiday catalog. Just leave me a comment below. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.